In that day you will ask in my name, and I do not say to you that I shall pray the Father for you, for the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and have believed that I came forth from God. So God is offering us fellowship with him because of how we've treated Jesus Christ. Let me say a word or two here. You can't get to heaven no other way. There's only one way to get to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. I'm going to be as plain as I'm not going to speak figuratively. I'm going to speak plainly to you. You cannot get to heaven through Mohammed. You cannot get to heaven through Confucius. You cannot get to heaven through Buddha. You cannot get to heaven through false religions. The only way to get to heaven is through Jesus Christ. That's the only way to get to heaven. There is no other way. You cannot get there through your grandma and your grandpa. I don't care if your grandpa was the greatest preacher in your area. You're not getting to heaven because of that. And if he did his job, he pointed you to Jesus. You are going to heaven no other way. Nobody, I don't care if you're red, yellow, black, or white, you're not getting to heaven unless you believe on Jesus Christ. All other roads, all other false religions lead to hell. Those are the tactics that Satan uses to keep people deceived and blinded. Have you ever noticed, and Jesus has been confirmed more that he was alive and walked the earth more than any other being. But have you ever noticed how the devil never tries to convince us that somebody else didn't exist? Have you ever noticed that? He only tries to convince the world that Jesus never really existed, or that he's not. You never hear the devil standing on somebody's shoulder saying, Mohammed's not real. Do you? Nobody talks about that. Mohammed was real. He just wasn't a savior. He was a false prophet. Buddha was real, and might I add something to give Buddha, take a little heat off Buddha. Buddha never claimed to be deity. They made Buddha deity 700 years after he was dead. And so he said, I went down this path, and I took the middle one. Said it's the best thing I've found. But he never claimed to be deity. How come Satan works overtime trying to convince us there's no God and there's no Jesus, but he don't touch all these other characters? Let me tell you why. Because they're not his enemy. They're working on his side. He knows you can't get to heaven any other way, and he got kicked out of heaven, and he's trying to keep as many people out as he can. And so he don't waste his time trying to convince the world that Buddha wasn't real. He works trying to chip away at Genesis 1 through 11. He's worked hard to do away with that. And now he's tried to convince half the world that Jesus is not real. And if he can't do that, then he wants to put him on the same plane with all these other false gods.